Ladies and gentlemen, back here on the Rich Eisen Show, Daniel Jeremiah, my colleague from NFL Network, and so much more. Good to see you, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great, buddy. I like to see you trying to will fall to get here.
I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough. I'm like, exactly what I thought to myself today. There's no chill in the Southern California air, but damn it, I just want to start to will that to arrive.
How great is that? How great is that first night, by the way, where it's just a little cold?
I know.
That's what I'm looking for.
I know. Spoken like two Southern Californian residents right now. Some of the country's like, what are you talking about? Let's just jump into it. I texted you yesterday.
Yeah.
You are the perfect guest in every way, no matter when. But in this instance, having probably watched as much Jackson Dart tape as anybody else prior to the draft and calling Chargers games as you do locally here on the radio, now those two shall meet. Were you surprised that Jackson Dart, now's the time against this defense that you know is one of the top in the National Football League, DJ?
I'm not surprised, and more so just because you look at their schedule. I don't know where the break is, really. I mean, there's just so many tough defensive opponents lined up for the Giants. Kind of as you look through it, you're like, okay, well, you could have gone New Orleans, but then you turn around and you go Philly. I just saw Denver and saw them hammer Herbert. I mean, they are very good up front. Philly twice, San Francisco. I mean, like, it's just, I don't think they want to wait till Chicago week 10 to get him out there on the field. So not surprised that it happened this early. There's no perfect time to do it. And, I thought, okay, maybe Russ bought him some time with the Dallas game. And then we've just kind of learned that Dallas is just awful, dreadful defensively. So that wasn't something that they felt was sustainable. Okay.
So now what do you think Jackson Dart can bring to the equation starting this weekend against those Chargers? DJ?
Well, the thing that 100% he's going to bring two things. He's going to bring energy and athleticism. So he's gonna get everybody excited. He's going to get the stadium excited. And as someone who's been a New York sports fan, Rich, when there's the new thing, I mean, that gets everybody fired up and excited. So that's going to take place. And then the athleticism side of it, he's going to be able to get away from some things that maybe Russ couldn't get away from. They can create some design quarterback runs if they'd like to help in that regard. I mean, it's going to be a very tough challenge with the Chargers because the Chargers can collapse the pocket with their rush. It's not really an individual rusher. It's more kind of like a rush plan that they use where they're just going to kind of condense you in and try and just crowd your space inside the pocket. And they do it with four guys. And now you've got seven to comb through on the back end. That can kind of muddy the picture. So, I went back through all the preseason stuff. I went back through my college notes and I watched all the preseason stuff with Dart, and he got better and better each game, each of the 3 weeks. And I thought they kind of figured out where he was comfortable, which was a lot more empty stuff. It really spread in the formation, spread in the field, giving him some clear sight lines, kind of a catch, rock, and throw from the gun with quick decisions. And then it also creates some running lanes when you spread the field like that where he can use his athleticism, take off and go. I don't think you want to condense things down. I think that would make the picture very, very muddy for him in his first start.
What do you mean condense? What do you mean by that in terms of what Daboll would do? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, look, there's a lot going on with teams playing with a lot of tight ends, and you're seeing 12 personnel, a lot of 2 tight ends. You're seeing a lot of teams condense it down, so you're going to bring the receivers into the formation. You're going to kind of condense everything down and then kind of break out from there, run the ball, play action, and then try and hit some things off of that. I don't think that's, at this point in time where Dart's going to be the most comfortable. I think he's going to be more comfortable if you think back to when Joe Burrow was coming into the league. We advocated the same thing for him, which was he likes to have answers and be able to see everything spread across the field, find an individual matchup that he likes and try and get the ball out. That's when he's going to be at his best at this point in time.
Daniel Jeremiah here on the Rich Eisen Show. And let's talk Chargers here, sir. I mean, you've been part of the Ravens-Eagles organization prior to doing what you do on television. And so you've been there, done that, when you've seen championship organizations start to coalesce around a roster and a coach. Do you see championship stuff through 3 weeks with the Chargers right now, Daniel?
I think there's some championship DNA in there. And what those organizations have in common and what Jim Harbaugh has kind of instilled with this group is that you're going to have those 3 or 4 plays. I mean, how many times have you guys come in on a Monday and you're recapping games and you go, man, if just this one play happens differently. I mean, the Eagles could be 0-3 right now, if not for 3 plays in their first 3 games. Well, that's the NFL. And those teams that in those winning time moments, they're comfortable in those moments and they thrive in those moments. You've seen it with the Eagles, and it's not just offense, defense; it's special teams as well. They block a kick. Last week, the Chargers defense had to get a stop late in the game. They get it. You got to get a drive down the field. Herbert's making plays to, a rookie tight end and a rookie back, and then you've got a kicker who's got to nail the field goal, and Cameron Dicker doesn't miss. So they've really got comfortable in those stressful winning time moments, and I think that's all Harbaugh, man. It's all him. It's all instilling belief in all of his guys. It's the extra work and the grinding, that they do during training camp and the extra periods, and that's how you finish well. And in the NFL, I mean, that's every week you're going to be in tight games, and you've got to make winning time plays in those moments. And you were there for Herbert taking off and running to seal the Chiefs game. I mean, they've done this each and every week.
Yeah, and chargering. There was even a name for it, right? What the Chargers would have happen to them, wild, odd, self-inflicted, whatever you want to talk about, to prevent them from winning games like the ones that you're talking about. And I know you came up to me during a commercial break on game day morning last week, and you mentioned number 3 in the program, number 1 in everyone's hearts here in Los Angeles. I just want to give you the floor on Derwin James, what you're seeing out of him defensively, and what Dart is going to be dealing with this weekend with him.
Well, Derwin's one of the best. He's one of the best football players that I've been around, and I started in 03 in my scouting time, and I'll get to the player in just a second, but I also told you this. He's might be my favorite person that I've ever been around in the NFL. I've been around for every single one of his games. This guy brings energy, and I'm not talking like energy in the huddle, on the sideline, on the field, all that stuff. You can see that on TV. I'm talking about energy on the plane. I'm talking about energy in the meal room. Like, this guy is just a galvanizing force. Everyone loves being around him. He knows everybody in the whole operation. I mean, he'll come up to me and ask me how my kids are doing. Like, he's just an unbelievable dude. So you start with him as the person, which is exceptional. Then you get him on the field, and they've mastered how to use him. Jesse Minter has, where he can do so many different things. So it's like, okay, is it too much? Do we narrow it down? They've got him living closer to the line of scrimmage, and he is a dynamic blitzer. He is going to get tackles for loss in the run game. He can buzz underneath coverage and take away tight ends and backs. There's screens. I mean, he just kind of erases screens, which you're going to see a lot of, I think, with the Giants this week. With Jackson Dart, I think they'll try and get the screen game going, but Derwin just kind of eliminates that and erases that. So I think he's one of the elite players in this game, and I know people say it's corny and cliche, but I'm telling you, without a doubt, he is a better person than he is a football player. He's just a complete stud.
Daniel Jeremiah here on the Rich Eisen Show, loser of the Ravens and Chiefs. I'll ask the same question I asked our colleague, Kurt Warner yesterday. The loser of this game, which one are you more concerned about?
Well, I just think when you look at the makeup of the division and where the Chargers are right now, I'd be more worried about the Chiefs in terms of trying to run them down and win the division. I don't think that anybody's going to run away from the Ravens in the AFC North. Obviously they don't want to start the season 1-3, but I still think that division would be within their grasp if that were to happen. If you're the Chiefs and the Chargers are already 3-0 in the division and you go out and lose this game, look, I know there's help coming. Xavier Worthy coming back, and they'll get Rashee Rice back. They're going to be playing good football. I'm very confident in that in the back half of the season. But that could be a pretty big hole to dig out of.
All right. So then, which team that is currently 3-0 are you, outside of the one that we just hit with the Chargers? Which one are you saying? Okay, that's the real thing here. Would you say it's the Eagles for sure? Or
I mean, the Eagles just know how to win those games, man. They're not even playing great. And then every week it's like, oh, they got a couple guys hurt, and I saw Nolan Smith's going to be down on the IR he's going to be out for a month. They keep losing guys, and then they just keep finding ways to win, and you never leave the game thinking that they've played their best. But they're just kind of finding ways to do it.
They're playing. You could say the same thing about Baker and the Bucs, right? And that game happens this weekend.
It's going to be a great game.
Let's start drilling down on some of these things. What do you think about that one, Daniel?
I think it's going to be the most physical game you watch this week is going to be that game. And both those teams pride themselves on the physicality. Both of those quarterbacks, ironically, had the same training with Lincoln Riley, but both of them are very, very poised, and they're very good when you get into those big moments, which I think you'll find yourself in this game. I think if Tampa was healthy up front on the offensive line, I would lean towards them in this particular matchup. But I think with some of the injuries that they've sustained there, not being whole on the offensive line, I could see the Eagles kind of doing an Eagle thing and finding a way to eke one out there.
And then just up the road from here, 3-0, Daniel Jones, Danny Diamonds.
How about that?
Okay, coming in to take on a 2-1 Rams team that had a shot to knock off the defending world champs again and couldn't finish the deal. What do you make of both of those teams in this matchup, Daniel?
I think if you just look at them emotionally neutral, I would say the Rams would win this game, and I'd feel confident in that. I'm a little bit worried with how much the Rams put into last week and how much energy that took out of them, in losing that ball game. I'm curious to see if there's some carryover there. I'll still lean towards them winning this game, but I think it's maybe closer than it would have been if they didn't just come off of an emotionally exhausting game against the Eagles. But what the Colts done has been impressive, and we've talked about this before, Rich. But if you're looking for a quarterback in the future and you don't love guys in the draft, just find somebody who was in the New York market who didn't work out. Geno, Sam, Daniel Jones. Goodness. I mean, it just kind of seems to be a thing that's happened here.
And Zach Wilson's waiting for his chance, I guess.
Yeah, he's waiting for his shot. We'll see what happens.
I hear you. Lions and looked terrific. Do you think they're back? Any concern?
Yeah, I think they've kind of put it out there for us that we can't ignore it. That hey, that was just a mulligan week one. That wasn't who they are. They've kind of proven who they are the last couple of weeks with dominant performances. I love seeing the creativity. I know our buddy David Shaw is on that staff there, and that kind of reminded me. Obviously the culture that Dan Campbell's installed there. But you remember when Stanford used to always talk about intellectual brutality?
Okay.
That's what the Lions looked like in that game. It was like, okay, they physically beat up the Ravens, which is not easy to do. But then they also had the creative component to it as well. So it's almost like they outthought them and then they out-physicaled them. And when you've got that combination going, you're in pretty good shape. But I think that's the most impressive win we've seen this year.
Do you think that they are the best team in the NFC North, or it's just recency bias because the Packers had issues with the Cleveland defense that may turn out to be top 5 at the end of the day anyway? But the Vikings got Carson Wentz and opening up a playbook that clearly wasn't as open for J.J. McCarthy as was with Carson Wentz. What's your read of the NFC North here?
Well, I mean, I just think if you look at a snapshot of where they are now and you take out what we saw week one, to me, I just look at it and say, okay, well, Detroit's playing the best football, and I think it's sustainable what they're doing. So I would put them there as the favorite inside this division right now, but there's still a lot to be sorted out. I think it's a really, really good division. Looking forward to seeing how that, kind of shakes out as we go forward. I was just looking at all the divisions the other day and it's like, what was the most intriguing one, or what am I curious to follow? That would probably be number 2 for me. I think what's going on in the NFC West, I think the Seahawks are playing really good football. I think the Rams, I mean, again, you mentioned it, they had that game well in hand and couldn't finish it against the Eagles. But those teams going at it, and then somehow you look up and minus some, some key players, including their quarterback, it's like, wait, the 49ers are undefeated? What?
Yeah.
So, that's an interesting division to keep an eye on.
The Cardinals are 2-1. They lost James Conner, but that's the way things kick off tonight for Week 4 is Seattle at Arizona, and the winner of that game's 3-1. And if the Seahawks knock down the pass from Purdy to Jake Tonjes, they're 3-0. You know what I mean? And so,
I like them, man. I really like what I've seen from them, watching them on tape.
Why?
Sam is playing great. Sam's comfortable. He's just playing with a lot of trust in his guys and his eyes. I mean, he's seeing it. He's letting it rip. JSN looks like a legit number 1. Torrey Horton, we sat together on the draft set. I thought that was one of the all-time steals in the draft, where they were able to pick him up. He should never have been there that late, and you're seeing him make plays. Oots, who was a favorite of ours at the combine.
Oots, there it is. Oots, there it is.
Yep.
That was one of our favorites. Right, that's another one. Yep, we were having a lot of fun.
He's been great. And then defensively, I've been kind of beating the drum on this one, but I think Leonard Williams is playing as good as anybody in the league, and I would put Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy up there against any defensive tackle combo in the league right now. Those guys are awesome.
Okay, so you're high on the Seahawks. Before I let you go, let's talk a little college football. What are you seeing out of that quarterback class that we might be waiting for in a few months? I know we still have a lot of playing season left, but what are you seeing at the collegiate level that's intriguing you at the quarterback spot, Daniel?
I think it's wide open. I don't think anybody's kind of blown the doors off of evaluators, at this point in time. Mendoza's played really well at Indiana. I'm excited to kind of dig in and study him. I haven't seen a ton of him. I know about him, obviously, coming over from Cal, but he's played really well. Watching those guys over the summer, I was really excited about Sellers, but he's kind of battled some injuries for South Carolina so far this year. But there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of ability in there. So it's going to be, Klubnik has been not good. I didn't love him when I watched him over the summer. I think he needs more time. Nussmeier's been, solid. So I don't know that anybody's kind of just taking it over. And, I think it's all out there. I think we got some huge games starting this week. Aller's going to have a big opportunity at Penn State to kind of, get back into the national spotlight on a big stage, coming off the last image you had of him at the end of last year, which wasn't the best. That's going to be a huge challenge, a huge test for them with Oregon coming to town. So he's got a huge opportunity in front of him to see if he can kind of grab a hold of that thing.
Yeah, man. The Browns are going to tank for Arch. Conversations are gone right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, again, I don't know how much you've been focusing on film or anything, drilling down on Arch Manning's first month, and it potentially unfair to have placed some sort of expectation level on Arch Manning coming into the season. But do you have an opinion on that, Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't gone through all the tape, so I wouldn't give you the stamp one way or the other. It's just TV scouting and watching on TV. He just hadn't looked like he's gotten settled in and comfortable. Now, obviously the quality of the opponent went down, and you saw him put up some better numbers outside the UTEP game, which that was not a great first half there. But he just needs to play. He just needs to play. We can eliminate the talk about him, jumping into the draft this year. He needs to play a lot of football. And, the size, the athleticism, that's all there. I thought he looked a little bit nicked up when in that game against Ohio State. I didn't think he kept just rolling his shoulder on the sideline and stuff. I didn't know what was going on there. That might be something we'll find out at the end of the year. Maybe there was something there, but that's my only takeaway, Rich. It's not a headline grabber, but just give the guy some time. He needs it.
All right. Very good. Before I let you go, who do you think is the best team in the National Football League through 3 weeks? And you can obviously include the team that you see all the time. Go for it. What do you have for me?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to get called a homer, but I just think the way the Chargers are playing is it's very easily to replicate the way they're playing. They're not relying on just one guy on either side of the ball. They're really good on special teams. They're playing really good football, and they've banked 3 division wins. So, it's hard for me to not be a homer on that one and say that they look like the best team. I do have one question for you.
Okay, Daniel.
Before we leave,
you're asking me if I'm going to relieve for the Dodgers in the playoffs?
No. I thought
that you were going. The Padre fan was about to come out. I'm sorry. What
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say, is Del Tufo now closing for the Dodgers? I saw he was wearing a
good.
Dodgers
Please give him grief, Daniel.
I didn't know.
Please, because this guy showing up in a Dodger hat.
He's the worst.
It is, and he's laughing. He thinks he's funny.
Go Dodgers.
But honestly, for all of us in the New York City metropolitan area, it's like the Goodfellas line. We have to turn our back on him now. You know what I mean? Like, this is an outrage for him to.
Was he Mets or Yankees previously?
Yankees. His entire life.
Wow. They got to get rid of the whole front office. I'm done with him. I'm done.
Done with him.
You can't quit him.
Of course he can't.
And after last year, it was like I was done.
Could you believe that?
They were in the World Series.
I know. He makes no sense.
What are you doing?
He makes no sense. Please get on him. Go for it.
Goodness gracious. You know how much bad baseball I've sat through at Jack Murphy, Qualcomm, and Petco over the years?
But I've actually watched one of those years when the Yankees beat him.
Get him.
But in saying that, it's like they're not. Come on.
Get him.
Daniel.
DJ, get him.
They got to get him. It's like, come on.
This is embarrassing.
It's not.
Do you realize I've got my youngest is 18 years old, okay? My youngest son's 18 years old. I will make this proclamation. If the Padres were to get, not even win, if they were to get to the World Series this year, his great-grandchildren will be Padre fans. I'm very confident in saying that. You're going to quit him? They were in the World Series last year. Are you crazy?
First of all, I didn't quit.
You did.
You definitely quit.
The hat on your head.
You're literally wearing a Dodger hat.
Excuse me. Something that says I can have two teams.
Come on. Mike,
I'm bi-coastal.
the hat on your head screams I quit. In the same way that Costanza and Seinfeld always said anyone who wears sweats is quitting on life as well. I'm wondering if you're wearing sweatpants right now. Seriously. Okay, now look at him. Now look at him.
See?
This is just an outrage.
Oh, my God.
I go back
DJ.
and forth.
Goodness
You're
gracious.
terrible.
It's so unacceptable.
I'll even give you this.
Dodger
I don't love it, but I will give you, if you have another sport in a different city, like if you're a Yankees fan, but maybe you had spent time in Philadelphia, you're a Sixers fan, but you got to stick with your one team and your one sport. That's non-negotiable.
May I introduce you to one T.J. Jefferson, who is just sitting back and enjoying this entire exchange. A Met Sixer Clipper fan, right there. Okay.
So you don't get Sixers and Clippers. You don't get both of those.
No, he can. I mean, there's like East and West Coast, but there he is right there. His New York Metropolitans holding on for dear life right now. Dear life. Finally getting a Dodger save out of the bullpen last night to save the Mets from being behind the Diamondbacks this morning. Daniel.
That's great. So if
the
you
Yankee
went,
hat too. Get that off. Get
So
that off your head. You don't mean it.
I've watched the 9 hours of HR videos that I was responsible for as an employee of the NFL Network.
You're way late on that, man.
Oh my gosh!
How many months overdue are you on that one?
Oh,
I did it this summer.
Yeah,
I was overdue.
Yeah, I just kept it. Just one after I would finish one, and then another one would pop up. And,
I know.
Joey Lawrence is making some sweet cash on those videos. If you didn't know that, he is killing it on there.
I just got an email. I got to do a sexual harassment training for ESPN. Now, do I got to do this?
So here's my question, though.
Machine, sir. Yeah.
Here's my gambling question. So based off of what the knowledge that I just gleaned right there on TJ, if he goes to Vegas and plays roulette, does he just put like one chip on every single number on the whole thing? Is that what, hey, I won! Hey, I won! Hey,
Jeremiah.
Hey,
look, I don't care.
Nine
you know what I'm saying? I don't care,
different
DJ.
banners. Nine.
DJ, I was just in Vegas and I played roulette 3 times. We took $100 and we just betted on one color and we won 3 times.
Hey, look at you.
That should inform your sports fandom right there.
Yeah,
That is a great metaphor.
Ladies and gentlemen, give T.J. Jefferson a coin flip of odds and he'll make money, is basically what he's saying. Thanks for the time, TJ. Thanks for the time, Daniel. There he goes, Daniel Jeremiah, here on the Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.